Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, John, go ahead. Unless this is the intro. Unless this is the intro. We just have John here. We're so good at podcasting, guys.
Hey, John, say welcome to the Boardcast.
Welcome to the Boardcast.
Excellent. That's it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
whoa, we did it. All right. We don't have William here tonight.
Yeah, we are one negative William, and we are plus one John.
Yeah. An upgrade, surely.
Yeah.
Come
John,
on.
upgrade.
John,
I
is
think
your
so.
house being renovated?
It is not.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We're already ready to go.
Shit excuse, by the way. William's like, I can't come to tonight's podcast.
Yeah, I don't get it. His house is getting renovated, but his house is not this place.
10 o'clock at
so
night.
Fucking come here.
What? We're doing a nightly recording, which is always extra fun because we're like more tired than normal. I know Dan is especially
John,
tired.
ask me what time I got up this morning.
Danny, was it before 6?
It was before 6.
Was it before 5?
It is before 5.
Was it before 4?
It is before 4.
Damn.
You can say every number and it's like Danny has just not been to bed.
I got up this morning at 2 o'clock in the morning and I went to work. And that is it.
And you're still here.
And I'm still here. I did have time though, as I got messed around for my first delivery, third delivery, and I sat at a petrol station and I watched Normal People News on Channel 7 for an hour while I waited for a place to open. So I've got some real some interesting take.
Is
of
it
the
just
world.
as bad as we remember it?
I don't follow any regular human news. I guess I'm my news is dedicated to Instagram and whatever deep pit of hell that I've introduced myself to there by an algorithm. So I think that there's more happening around Perth that I knew about and also very much did not fucking care about.
When you say normal people and normal news,
Well, I wasn't a trucker's lounge, so maybe not that normal.
Okay. Was this just like sunrise or something? Is that what? Sunrise.
Yeah, it was
okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
Episode 10, we're just as unprofessional as ever. We were like, we're going to have something special. We're going to we still don't have an intro song. We completely
saying
screwed
John
up
isn't
the intro.
special?
No, but we've got
I'm
a plus.
special.
We plus one. We gained a John.
Yeah.
Gained a good friend, John Coleman, who's here tonight with us. Very happy to have him here. Describe
gang.
yourself. What do you do?
My name's John. People probably may
nice
have
to
met
meet
me
you,
before. Oh, thanks.
Completely unrelated.
Yeah.
I saw a story today that Adam Sandler was supposed to be the bear Jew in
Was
Glorious
he?
Bastards. Yeah.
Damn, you'd have been a good bear Jew.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
And Tarantino wrote that position for him, and then Sandler was doing some bullshit show that one of those dodgy family things, and he just I can't do it.
But he's
Are you
like
transitioning to say that John?
Nothing.
Whoa.
I have implied nothing at all.
But Adam Sandler's a good actor.
Yeah, he's
If you
been
watch
in
him in
some
his
fun
serious, but if you watch his serious stuff, he's actually really good. He
I'm
does know how to act.
I'm just a comedy guy.
Yeah.
What was the one about the diamonds where he just stressed everybody out?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Boy,
That's the one.
the one.
I watched that movie without knowing anything about the Diamond District, and I was like, yeah, it's all right. And then, in the last few years, for some reason, I went down a rabbit hole with jewelry, gold prices, the Diamond District, and I realized that movie is crazy. It's basically a documentary. That's a real thing.
Your life sounds like a nightmare, Kane.
Yeah.
Because if you like something, you're like, well, this is going to get 17 hours of education on it.
I will hyper
Where's the
obsess.
surface level love?
There is no surface level. If I like something, I'm going to go all the way. Yeah.
But is that just beginning on a YouTube video and then just rabbit holing?
Well, it was. It began with me liking watches, and then from there it's a natural connection as I spiral and fall down the Alice in Wonderland hole of $1 million companies spending money in gold and diamonds, and
It starts with diamonds and ends with frogs having procurative sexual tendencies.
and it's just and all just comes back
Jones
to,
over here.
It all just comes back to rappers. Right?
Rappers, yeah. But I find that knowledge very useful, though, okay?
Yeah,
Because
in your business.
Well, and just in general as well. Because
he knows who to avoid.
yeah. But you can
People like me, right? That hyper obsess about gold and diamonds.
Another truck driver I know said to me today when talking about certain decisions on whether they vaxxed or didn't vax, he said, one of us. And I was like, well, I don't want you to one of us anything. Whether I'm in or out, I don't want to be in anybody's group.
From your experience, are most truckers unvaxxed?
Depends on which companies they work for.
Or can you not
Some
name
of the
names?
big companies force them to have it if they wanted to. And I think a part of it was I feel like pirating, truck driving is like the modern day pirating.
It is.
So a lot of those guys feel like they're like these free cowboys. They can do whatever they want. So they felt very strongly about being forced to do anything, whether it was good or bad for them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think part of it's that. And then part of them are just they've got too much time to watch YouTube. Realistically.
True.
Too many trucker lounges.
The whole COVID thing actually came up today because a friend of mine at work was talking about a guy who was let go because he had some allergic reaction or whatever to the vaccine. And they just said no exceptions.
Oh.
No exceptions. And he was kicked out, right?
You
it wasn't
get
me.
or you
It wasn't me.
suffocate.
But yeah.
I am still employed.
I'm so employed, but it's interesting to hear that. Like you think back, 4 years now, and you think how crazy it was that people just getting fired because they didn't want to take a jab.
Well, I was working for that
wild.
tech company at the time, right? And we got jabbed so that we could go. Like, have to fly. We're told we had to do that, and the Australian government was very strict on, like, to do that. Other places will kick you out. We got to like Dubai and Germany and Poland. They didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They didn't check. Nobody checked once. As soon as we got into like other parts of the world, and we're traveling at the peak level of the pandemic, and as soon as we left Australia, nobody cared at all.
Yeah,
Right? In Poland, we just walked through the airport. They didn't even security check us at all, let alone vaccine, like anything like that. You know what I mean? We're just carrying like equipment and stuff, and they're like, you don't want to see? Like, no.
Well, those countries can't really turn down tourists, right? They're like,
especially not
they look
there.
at you walk through the security gate. They're like, you look like a tourist. I can spend money.
As someone who wasn't worldly like traveled before working for that company, I think we've been lied to. Like that, Poland was like very sorted out. They knew what they were doing over there. Like brand new roads, crazy technology, internet was way better. Like healthcare is all the perfect. I think we're lied to. I think besides maybe now and in certain like Russian located areas,
specific border.
they've got their shit well sorted out.
Yeah. Nah, I think you're spot on. Yeah, another friend of mine is actually he's heading to Poland now. He's Polish from Poland, and that's how that works. And you talk to him. It's like the standard of living is way higher
Yes,
than you expect it to be. When I say expect it to be, then what have you been led to believe?
I imagine this like post World War II Eastern Bloc.
Yeah.
And then I got there and I was like, oh, this is like a Disney movie. There's like rainbows and birds, and everybody lives on a canal. Like I was in Krakow, and it's like everybody lives in just one beautiful canal, and like at the end of the day, as the sun goes down, there's just like 25-year-olds like rowing teams and people running and like jogging along the thing. I was like, oh, I've been lied to.
It's not like it's not like an old lady with a scarf on pulling a wheelbarrow or something. It's not like that.
It's a barrel of turnips. Yeah.
As a nerd, the only thing that matters to me is that they have faster internet than us.
Oh, I'm
And
mad.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
mad.
yeah.
Come on, Australia.
The like motel thing we stayed in as we transferred from one to the other, their free hotel Wi-Fi was better than my Wi-Fi at home. And
Feels bad. But just but you go to Singapore or Japan even. Japan isn't it's weird. Like Japan's got really good technology, you think, but you go there and it's kind of analog.
Oh, really?
Old school, huh?
They like their old school.
People like that
design.
aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Did they just give that to you because you were the dirty tourist?
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. But yeah, you'd realize pretty quickly how
Somehow
slow
your
it is.
wife's internet was way better than your internet. You're like, how did they figure this out?
We've had this weird season in Australia where all the Australian tourists are just like going out and like exploring the world right now.
Yeah, because we just had like 19 months of summer. I don't.
Every month now, one of my friends is just came back from Japan or just came back from some country, and I'm like, what? How do you find time?
We had literally like
money.
7-8
And
months
money.
of summer, and then we had 2 days of rain, and it flooded like half the state.
Yeah, it did.
Like literally, like people's houses were like 30 centimeters in the water. And it's like, what? We had 1 day of
It
rain.
wasn't even like random country towns. It was in the
It
city.
was in the metro.
It was
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah. Just had random, like you get pictures of like Snapchat pictures of people like, oh, came out of my house today, my car's flooded. Oops.
Like we haven't had a proper flood since like 1991, I think it is, in like the northern like area, like where maybe like 2-3 hours northeast of Perth.
Yeah.
That was the last proper flood, and then all of a sudden there's like cars floating down the street.
Well-
and this is Perth. We don't have things like that
we don't have
here at
us.
all.
This isn't us. But there was that big rainstorm about, I'd say 6 months ago. So it was like, it just absolutely came down. I was at my parents' house for
Well,
for
you
dinner.
just made me into a liar. I said 8 months,
No,
like
no,
4 times.
Okay, sorry, no, 8 months ago.
Hey, thank you.
And we were driving back, and I was like, damn, there's a lot of water on the roads. It was like big puddles and stuff.
Yep.
Got back, and just our house had flooded.
way.
The entire street was fine. And then we rocked up, I was like, that doesn't look good. And it was a river from the street directed directly
Wow.
into our house.
Oh, cool. Are you
And
like a
all the way
bend or
back.
something?
Well, I didn't realize, but it just happened to all the water just flowed that way. And we were sitting there at like 10 o'clock at
Were
night.
the neighbors like looking through their curtains at
They
you,
didn't
like
care.
they knew it was going to
They
happen?
didn't care, right? So me and my wife were sitting there with a rake because that's all we had. Trying to get the water out.
the worst.
And
Why isn't the water going
Or
anywhere?
he's just raking the water.
literally
The
raking the
neighbor's
water.
like cutting his lawn, like, our neighbor's real weird today.
Sucks to be that guy. And there was about, I don't know, it was about maybe 3 inches of water in the garage, and it almost lapped into the house.
Oh, shit.
So it was like on the cusp of lapping into the house, and you open up the garage, and the garage is actually holding the water back. So as soon as you open the garage, more water flooded. I'm like, oh, close
Close it down. I would like to imagine like John runs over and lies like a sausage in front of the gap, like to hold it in.
You know, when it's just your house, it's the worst. Because you look at your neighbors and you're like, motherfuckers, why could I hit them as well?
Yeah.
Why is it just me?
Like, there is a God and he hates you. Yeah.
In the old share house I used to live in, we would I'm like the most ADHD person you've ever met in your life, and we'd have this very like open kind of door policy where our garage was open, it led straight into our kitchen, and mates could just come past and hang out. Like it was a share house thing, right? So it's like they'd come past and like, you know, they'd spin past on the way from like the shop around the corner, and they'd just pop in on their bikes or whatever, and you know, come down, hang out for chat. So anyway, I started to do the dishes one day because we're in a share house, there's no dishwasher there. I'm starting to do dishes, then a mate rocks up, and we're standing outside. I was just letting the hot water run. Right, and he rocks up out front. I talked for a couple of minutes, and we're talking about there. My car was a bit messy, and he's like, "Oh, your car looks like shit. Like fucking vacuum it up." This is where I was like back in doing the Uber days. And I was like, "Yeah, I should do that." Anyways, we chat for 10 minutes. I completely forget about the water, and then he talks about vacuuming my car. And I was like, "Oh, I should vacuum my car. My vacuum is in the garage because we vacuum our cars." And so I start vacuuming my car, and then I vacuum my car, and then another mate rocks up, and I stand outside talking to him for like a while. Like it was a while, and then I walk back in like 2 hours after I'd started the water. And the entire house had flooded. Like I just one like mug or something had got caught in where the sink drain is, and it just covered it and completely filled up the house.
No.
And it's like 2 hours of like fast pouring hot water. And we're pretty lucky that all of the house was tile except for like a theater room kind of thing. It was tucked around the corner, so that hadn't got any water in it, luckily. But the rest of the house was, and it was quite hot. So like the melamine like cupboard doors had all like kind of like molded open, where the melamine pops off.
No.
It was like
There's no going back either.
It was pretty bad. And my housemate at the time, Jordan, he like rocks back up, and he just kind of looks, and he looks at me, and I'm like, same thing. I'm squeegeeing water out the fucking like double doors with a broom, and he just looks. He's like, I'll come back later. And he just fucking got his car.
Not my day, not my problem.
Yeah, he was now having a bar. Like I've known it. Well, we've like brothers. Like known him since we're kids, and he will know a lot of my shit, but it doesn't mean he wants to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a flood in my house once where like one of the hot water drains exploded, and like we came home like end of the night, like a long day out, and just like the entire like back half of the house was just water. And it was like, okay, sure. We have like tiles mostly, but all our bedrooms have like that fake wood, that laminate. And originally my parents were like, she'll be right. We wiped it and like squeegeed it off. And in the next couple of days, all those wood just became wavy
pops.
and just pops. It was like a Hot Wheels course, bro. It was unusable. And my dad looked at it and was like, okay, sure, we'll call insurance. We'll call the insurance.
That happens because I deliver timber flooring a lot as part of my truck job. That's what I do, right? And most of those ones that go out now are hybrid, which means it's mostly plastic than wood, because that happens so much.
Yeah.
So most of them are 100% waterproof now.
I thought you would want just like solid wood, right? Solid wood doesn't do that.
As long as it looks like that, nobody notices. And the thing is, when you've got your feet on hard wood, you don't really know the differences. So the old way of doing it used to be on like battens, so it gives you a little bit of gap between the wood and the floor, and then you get that noise, like that old manor, creaky noise, right? And that gives you the concept of actual wood floors. But if you just have wood floors straight on concrete, there's no way you're going to know the difference. No. Like,
Do you guys like carpet?
No.
I'm a non-carpet
Honestly,
guy.
I hate it.
Yeah, because every
I have
Aussie
very
that I've
strong
talked to,
feelings. I have very strong feelings.
okay,
on
every
topic.
Aussie that I've talked to always is like, you got to have carpet in your home. You makes your home feel nice.
No.
And it's like, I get it, but that's a lot of effort.
No.
It's so much effort.
No. Okay. There's only one. There's only one answer
Aussie
here.
guys are telling you to get
John
carpet.
is taking the stage.
The Australians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is somebody yelling at you on an advert telling you to buy a rug?
Yeah, my mates, when they come to my home, they're like, why is your home so cold and sterile? I'm like, just because I don't have carpet, bro.
You did say
this
you
is
know
Mike D'Amelio.
you
What
know
are
a
you
lot of
talking
like
about?
Turkish guys and like Middle Eastern guys.
No,
right?
they like
So
tiles too. They're also old tile people. They'll get a rug.
Because it's
They'll
clean.
get a rug.
Yeah, it's because it's clean, right?
Correct.
So there's nothing worse than like you got
I got pets,
You got
yeah.
pets. You don't have pets, okay? Do you?
No.
So there's nothing worse than coming back and it's just like a thing of fur on the carpet. You're like,
My
don't wanna deal with
dog
that.
is a husky, a half husky, half German Shepherd, So it has 2 different levels of coat that
That's an
like
active
undercoat
dog
as
breed.
well.
it has an undercoat and a top coat, and they both molt at different times of the year.
So you know what that fucking means? It just fucking molts all day long.
All year long, and like it'll just come off like massive, just clumps will just fall off. She'll just look at you, and you'll vacuum, and she just stares at you, and just clumps of hair will just like pop off the side, like it's like a tapeworm splitting in half or something. I don't know.
I mean,
It's
that's
a nightmare.
definitely what it is.
Your dog's like, yeah, you clean it up.
But when we built the house when I was like 19, it was like this dodgy house. My Kelly wanted to get like nice carpets for like my son, and so she got the like most shaggy, like softest carpets. But I'm like, now he's a 13-year-old boy. There's more like frozen Coke McDonald's fucking cups on his floor, and we got a cat and a dog. It's a nightmare. You can stand there for like 5 minutes and vacuum the same spot, and just endless hair coming.
Carpet is impossible to clean, right?
It is.
Your pet like pisses in a corner, and you're never cleaning it. You're never cleaning it properly. Right?
But
It's always
right.
gonna be there.
You're right.
How many times did you blame your pet for pissing in the corner?
Good thing we don't have any pets. It's just me pissing in the corner,
It's
Danny.
just Kane. It's like,
It's
look,
just me.
from my experience,
Yeah.
it never comes out.
You do have 74 cats, right, John?
Yeah, 25, actually.
Oh,
25.
man.
3.
You did have to ask permission from your partner to make sure you could stay here tonight because she's looking after the cats, right?
That's right. I'm considerate. I'm a considerate husband.
John is the crazy cat lady.
Yeah,
Of the home.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
My children just message me every now and again and see if I'm coming home this week. So
Jenny is the cat of his house. That's what he is. He doesn't have a cat. He is
I
the
got
cat.
let out the door and you
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if I'm coming back.
See you later.
I could be hit by a car. You'll never have an idea.
My craziest cat story was I was at my mate's house who's like, he's pretty well off. His family's like fucking rich. Jesus Christ. I went to his home and I was like, you live in a mansion, bro? What happened? Anyway, that's just besides the story.
They didn't have a piss corner. That's what
Yeah,
it was.
they didn't have a piss corner. They were
Kane
civilized
They
folk.
used active
Kane made
toilets.
one.
Yeah, I had to ask him, how do I use this bowl ceramic thing you guys got here? The
It's like starts splashing his face with the water.
you drink from this? So I was at his house and the mom is like that crazy cat lady type who will adopt cats just like randomly from the street. And so he told me the story and I was like, in my head, I was like, they just have like a couple cats or whatever. I had to use the toilet in their home and he was like, yeah, it's just in the laundry room, just mind the cats. And I go into the laundry and like I turn the lights on and I shit you not, there's like double-digit cats. Or easily over a dozen cats just turn their like heads around and stare at me. Just all their faces
Hectic.
stare at me. And like, I'm walking through the aisle of cats, just like trying to like hold my composure as the cats just like they're in like the baskets and in all the shelves, just
John
staring
just had an
at me.
orgasm, eh?
That was pretty cool.
Bro, I was freaking out. I just had to piss, man. I went through all the alleyway of cats, the trial of cats to get to the restroom so I can pee.
But the problem is with cats, once one runs, they all run.
What?
So like what will happen is
They're a gang,
So
dude.
what happened when we picked up our latest edition? There was like a crazy cat lady. Like she obviously adopts lots of cats and like temporarily houses them. And the second you look at them, they're like, look at you. Like, and they're sort of like, is he cool? And they're like, he's not cool. And one of them starts running, and there's like 5 cats or 6 cats just bolting down the road.
Holy
So
shit.
it happens in our house because one of the cats just sets the other ones off. So
Yeah.
it'd be like, I don't trust this guy. He's dodgy. And then she'll run.
So
and the other cat
cats
will
are
run.
just pigeons of the land.
Correct. They're skittish. Yeah. So
Was that
it's
Cats movie, was that legitimate? Was it authentic?
100%, man. I haven't seen it, but 100%.
They go up and song and dance as well.
Sometimes.
I knew it. I knew it. My science report goes back and cats sing and dance.
Yeah.
While we're talking about drinking from toilets, so
Good segue.
Yeah. I'm a professional at that.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah. We're doing better than William though. When William just decides to change the conversation midway through another
just
conversation.
randomly.
William grounds us. He's like the dad.
William's
who's
not here.
like,
It's time to talk shit about William.
yeah, guys, we're gonna stay on topic. It's a hobby podcast.
He's like, cats? All right, commander. You know what also starts with C? Commander.
You know what I don't care about? The thing you're talking about. at all.
Yeah. And then William would be like, say something like, so I, buy a car every year.
This is how you know I'll be on every single episode of this podcast ever, because there's no way I'm letting anyone else come on here and talk shit about me.
Nice. So I gotta squeeze one out. I sneak one in. Yeah.
Yes.
Episode 10.5. Yeah.
so
the Patreon only where we talk shit about Danny.
Yeah.
So sign up the
Danny,
Patreon,
not
right?
welcome.
And if you're going to give me those $4.50s, you can talk shit all you want. So I've been starting at 2 o'clock every day this week. It's a nightmare. It's what is it now? Like 10:30, 11 o'clock? What are we at?
11.
11 o'clock, cool.
11.
So I've been up since 2 and I'm going to have a couple hours sleep before I go back to work. I'm doing this every day. It's fine. I do this every day. It's no problems. You got to do what you need to do for the small business. We all get that. But yesterday, I thought in some insane process of method that I would come back and fix the toilet door that we had a problem with, right? So someone had attempted to use the key that gets them into the toilet, and they'd snapped it off inside. And in pure sleep deprivation, I thought this is a perfect time to try and amend this problem. So I'm in there like with like 2 knives and a little flippy thing, and I'm trying to get this key out. Anyway, I get the key out amazingly. Very impressed. I'm impressed in myself because I'm amazing, John. Okay. I'm amazing. I'm an amazing human being. I'm now a locksmith.
Yep.
I may as well be a blacksmith.
To put this into perspective, I was inside.
following.
I was inside Northern Boards. I was inside the store, and I just hear a scream come from outside. I thought Danny was in trouble. No, it was just Danny screaming in excitement.
Yeah. It's like I am a blacksmith.
I
now.
was soon to be in trouble though, because as I amended one issue, I discovered a secondary issue, which was that the toilet cistern had failed. And I thought, I can fix this problem.
The toilet. Wait.
So the toilet
system had failed.
Yeah, like
Explain, Danny.
the toilet was constantly pouring full water from like the cistern up the top into the toilet. It's like pouring heaps of water. I was like, oh, this can't be too much of a problem. So I attempt to fix that. I take the top of the toilet thing off and just toilet water just all over my shit.
And that was the second scream I heard.
That was the panic scream.
Yeah, that was the panic scream. That's when I'm going to go check up on Danny.
I thought I've got 3.5 minutes sleep. I am fucking tired and dirty. I have no handyman skills at all. So clearly this was a project that I needed to start right now and amend. It ended in me putting a brick in an empty Magic the Gathering box, putting that on top of the cistern for weight, and then walking away from it.
The cardboard, it's made out of cardboard.
It is made out of cardboard.
So how long does it last until we have the same problem?
I'm expecting to go back in there and it look like the share house that I left a couple years ago.
Yeah, Danny walks. So after the 2 screams, Danny walks back through the doors of Northern Boards, and he's like wet and angry.
I had a long sleeve shirt on, and I was wet up past my elbow in toilet water. And I had toilet water on my face, and I was just not really keen to be there. And I had to get back in my car, wet in toilet water, and I wanted to get food, but I didn't want to touch food and then put it in my mouth because it's toilet water. It was just not cool, man.
Just not feeling
And
it.
all I wanted to do was take off that A4 piece of paper sign at the front of the toilet that said out of order. Yep. I just wanted the success of a real man to be able to take that off. And I had to walk away closing that door, knowing that even though the problem had been fixed, there is another problem and people still can't use this toilet.
The most shameful.
I just need something to work. Like I just this whole, like anybody who's been to the boards, it's an incredible place and you should visit and come give me all of your money. But also, it's a fucking nightmare here. Like nothing ever works about anywhere. And the whole time I'm trying to fix that key, someone else from the property who rents here also came up to me and bitched to me for 10 minutes about why they want to sell their business and get out of here. And I'm like, look, I hear you. But I've signed on to many years of this nonsense. So I need you to just back up on how bad it is.
I don't need this.
Yeah, I don't need the truth right now. I need pure lies.
But the charm of the Northern Boards is the chaos.
It is the charm.
Because as it's one of our I would say common friends, Kurgan.
Yeah.
That's like his thing. He's like it's got the feel.
Yeah,
it's got the feel of a
feels
hobby
like
shop.
an old hobby basement.
Yeah, that's right.
There was like the old hobby bunkers of like Games Workshop from the 90s that I really didn't even really get to experience outside of like reading it in White Dwarfs. You know, they were called battle bunkers, and it was like the thing that in England, and I think in England was more so like they'd have the Warhammer shop at the bottom, and then the battle bunkers on top. Yep. You know, there's the multi-story buildings in like
the Victorian
cities, right?
Yeah.
So. And it's that concept of you buy your minis down the bottom and then there's a place to go play them and hang out at the top, you know? And I think that, like, that's what I really want, that place, that communal place to people come down and hang out. You don't have to feel like you're coming down to get shilled out products and have to buy things. It's more about that place you come down and meet your mates. And the ultimate goal really is to come to a place like this, not knowing people in the hobby and meeting other people in there, and then they become friends, and then the hobby shop or the part of it becomes a secondary part to the friends you've made along the way. That's the ultimate goal. But just while you're here, please give me all your money.
And also, the toilet is out of order.
Yeah. We've had a flood, so I'm waiting for the next like plight, right? I'm waiting for the locust to show up.
Like, I also did find out that I'm hoping this guy's never going to listen to this, so it's fine. I installed the floodlights. I thought the floodlight out there had had a problem with it. No, apparently he is turning them off. So fuck that guy.
Why is he turning it off?
Who knows? But he also told the other people in the strata that he installed them. So, so I paid money for those to go in, and then he turns them off, and then he claims
you try to get the
Why doesn't he like light? Why does he want people wandering around in the darkness?
That's one of the
outside
plagues.
Northern Boards.
It's one of the plagues. Darkness is one of the plagues. That's why it came.
It's a subtle one.
I don't know if I mentioned this
Lesser
to you,
known.
John, but the place where we're renovating the new restaurant, one of the neighbors there, he's like best friends with the guy who's our neighbor here, who's part of our problem. And so I come in one day, and Harry, the fellow from the other place, who owns the Indian restaurant at the other, like next to the other restaurant, great guy. Only have great positive things to say about him so far. But when I came in here and he's sitting there, they're both in wife beaters, like shilling onions together, hanging out, having their chats. I was like, that's unfortunate. Anything I do to here has a direct ramification of the effects over
There's
there.
nothing worse when you find that common point.
Yeah. Somehow it follows you.
It does.
Everywhere you go. His face.
It's that, was it degrees of separation?
Yeah.
Like it's one.
Yeah.
Your degree of separation is one.
The Perth effect is insane. Like everybody knows everybody. And I thought when I was a child, it was really just like we'd go to the Super Value IGA. And my mum couldn't get in there and out of there without talking to like 12 people. And I'm like, this is so annoying. But then you get older and you realize you're like,
That is how it is.
I can't get drunk and have someone steal my pants and them see my, I don't know, red dot underpants that have a gnome on it, because that person who lives in that house next door knows my nan, who knows my mum, who then came to Christmas.
Yep.
And I'm like, cool. I was 6 hours away from at a party. How do you know my nan? Like, why? Do you have a photo of me and you're showing my mum at my own Christmas party?
Yeah.
This is very vivid in detail. This happened.
Yeah, I'm not saying it definitely
Yeah, I was
happened,
going to
but
say there was too many details there, which it can't be a random story which Danny has hypothesized.
Yeah.
into
Hey
his
Siri,
all I'm saying
look
is-
up Danny and gnome underwear.
Hey Siri.
all I'm saying is neither of you can prove anything.
Listen, I have my own digital footprint I'm not happy about. I've tried to scrub stuff off the internet as well.
That's what I use Facebook memories for. So when it's
It's wild, man.
Here's a memory you wrote in 2008, and I'm like, fucking delete.
It's actually insane, right? So you think you remember what you did. I mean, I think I remember.
I know
what
I don't.
Okay, I feel like I have a good memory. So whenever random Facebook posts or whatever come up, I'm like, what is this? What the hell was I writing? This doesn't make any sense. It's like the most cringe, awful stuff, right? Like the photos are cool because it like takes you back to a time, but the posts, I'm like, just kill me.
What did I-
Actually kill me?
Yeah, 13-year-old me was like, man, this Minecraft thing is really cool.
I'm such an
like,
edge
oh god.
Look at my hot takes. Yeah, it's like, can we not?
The older you get, the more you realize your opinions don't matter, and that's why we started a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So we can at least project our irrelevant
Now
opinions.
our thoughts are someone else's problem.
I'm in your ears now.
So I'm not. I wouldn't describe myself as a very fit person, right? Like I wouldn't describe myself as unhealthy, but I'm not fit. I was definitely fitter when I was younger, so I'm trying to get
I
back on the
actually
train.
thought you're pretty fit, gang.
Oh no.
I would.
I have a standard to live up to now. This is the worst. Wait till you hear how many burpees I can do. Answer, not a lot. So I haven't been to the gym in a while, like probably like 7 years. I haven't been. I haven't been seriously trained in over.
When
7
you
years.
first started here, you had an attempt at a stint.
Yeah.
But you also signed up to a gym that was like an hour and a half away. And I said to you right then and there, I was like, that's not a recipe for success.
One question I've always got when people say I went to gym, what do you mean exactly when you say I went to gym? It's always a question.
When I mean like I've seriously gymmed was like 7 years ago. It was like when I was younger. Me and my mate, we went to the gym solidly like 5 times a week for like a year and a bit, right?
Were you quite tall, Kang? You have the stature
You got
of a
the
man
physique.
who could get
I
massive.
should gym. Realistically, I should gym, but
I'd
I've
be
been
like one of those jacked Asian guys.
yeah,
right?
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. It's like a thing.
Have
right?
you seen
why'd you
Jacked
have to
Asian?
mention that he's
No,
Asian?
no. I know what John's talking about.
name's
Have you
Kang.
seen there's a meme of like jacked Asian guys where it's like they're really, really fucking jacked, but then they got like a little like cute pretty boy face. And they're like,
Exactly.
hello.
Well, the funny thing is, like, from
Yeah.
like the shoulders up, they just look like a normal dude.
Like a regular
and then like
yourself
zoom
cute.
out, and he's massive.
Yeah, except I've got a big head, so I got to compensate for my big head by getting bigger shoulders. That's the plan. That's the end game.
When I got really, really quite large from excessive training, I have a tiny little head, so my shoulders got really big. It made my
It
head
looks
look
good.
small
No,
and silly.
you want a big shoulder. Big shoulder, pinhead. That's the key. That's the key.
That's what Kang's after.
The bean head really accentuates how large the shoulders are.
It's all about the neck, really. Anyway, we'll get to that later.
Go on. But, so you started training.
So I've just decided to like I don't want to embarrass myself in the gym. I was just doing some like home stuff at home. Just get like I pulled out the fucking yoga mat at home, and I'm like doing like, I wake up every morning now, and I'm doing like push-ups, sit-ups, some burpees, and planks and stuff. Holy shit, boys! I have deteriorated. I did like 3 burpees, and my body was like, "Not today, bitch."
What I said, you like for like slightly off air before, it's like what I really hoped was that like the North Korea thing where the radio comes on and then you and your family do jumping jacks.
Yeah. But they honestly, like side note, they do it in Korea.
Yeah, I know.
So we're not used to working.
I am a worldly man.
Yeah, so why is Kim Jong
visited Korea? But like during lunchtime and in the morning, so I'd rock up to the shipyards because they're building the ships in the shipyards. And good story.
Thanks,
it's got a thread. And in the morning, what they'll do is like music would come on, actually just over the PA system, and they'll all go to the quad or like outside the building, and they'll all do like stretches. So they'll all do like
It sounds like what I said, but with more words.
No, it's a company
but it's a
thing in
company
these
thing.
countries.
So what
You
they were
have
doing
to.
was, so you have to do it. And it was like a whole team building thing. So they all hype themselves up for the day. So they're like, oh, yeah, a little chant and shit. And then they would go and do work.
Do you know what it was? In 2008, right? They had the Japanese average weight had slightly increased, and it had a direct effect on how much the cost of hospitals would be in the next 10 years. So they implemented a plan, and every year the company you work for has to weigh, and you have to sign it against your like birth certificate, right? So everybody has to weigh all their staff, and if yours has gone up by too much, you risk being fined and the person being let go from the job. And that way, every year they do a census and they track every single weight. And if it's good, you get rewarded, and if it's bad, you get like fines and like detrimental things. And that goes on today.
Is that going to be Northern Boards? If I get really fucking jacked, do I get special prizes?
Yes,
Nice.
100%.
Okay.
I think so.
John, you want to get
think
jacked
so.
with me?
Oh, mate, nothing more than I want, Kang, is to get jacked with you.
Nice. Me and John are getting jacked.
We're getting jacked. But so
Dude, I want to see John.
The joke line is clearly
Ripped,
there,
yeah.
but it's still funny.
Yeah.
But so I have like I used to be a lot fitter than I am
of course.
now. I blew out my knee playing squash. Right,
Yo,
so
squash is
I
hard.
always
Yeah.
have like a dodgy knee now, which really does slow you down. In terms
John
of
used to be an
exercise.
adventurer until he took a squash to the knee.
Mate, I was an average squash player, yes, but I used to play quite a bit. But it does really like I empathize, Kang, because the second you go for a jog, like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm reasonably fit. I'm okay. Go for a jog, you're like, I'm dying.
Your heart catches up to
You
you.
actually feel like it's going to explode.
Correct,
You're like,
correct.
And then like that dryness in your mouth. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Yeah.
This is how I go.
Yeah, and I'm in the park, and there's all like these kids playing soccer and stuff. They look at it like, what's that 27-year-old man over there
Just dry
dying for?
heaving, just absolutely dry heaving in the corner.
Yeah, but you used to be quite fit, Danny, right? So I was like, I'll get some tips off this
Hey,
man.
it used to be. Fuck off.
Oh, okay.
Used to be.
Yes, I was.
All age has caught up to all of us, right? That's the key of the Northern Boards cards.
It's funny, like before I ventured to attempt to start 6 different small businesses in the same 2 years, I actually had time to go to the gym two times a day, and I was quite fit. The funniest bit is so many people that I've met through the club, like the GameStop and like Burger Boy and those things, they've only known me as Fat Daniel. But
We call you Fat Danny, not Fat Daniel.
but all of my previous friends knew me as Fit Daniel.
Yeah.
So when anybody who finds out that I was very fit, are very surprised. But also whenever any of my friends from before see me now, also very surprised.
Yeah.
And I can tell you in both ways, it hurts just as much.
You just gotta suck your stomach in like I do nowadays.
The worst bit is like, you just gotta, this is a very visual podcast that we're doing here only by audio, but I'll lean back in my chair and just like cross my arms over and just like rest them on my tum-tum. And I don't notice, but I must look like Santa Claus waiting for the next kid to sit on his lap from other people looking on.
So the question is, right, Danny, what is the perspective that you have for your body, right? So you look down, you think, I'm huge. But that's not what people see. Surely not.
Yes, but I know what I did look like.
Yeah, okay.
I also know
It's by Delta.
that my chest and my shoulders were more than twice the size they were before. So when I look in the mirror at the pathetic floppy bitch that I have turned into,
Only positive reinforcements on this
No
episode.
fat shaming, thank you, Danny.
you also forget that I have a 13-year-old child who's gone from the age, like either the special stuff who started the club from like 9 to 13. And, kids don't always have the best filter. So when he goes to me, hey, Dad, you used to be really muscly. What happened? There's a small part of my soul left over from the large part of my soul that is burnt to the ground.
You just got to do what other like dads do, where like you point at your son, you're like, one day you'll be just like me.
What I really need to do is if I was a terrible parent, I would just turn around and blame him 100% for it.
Okay.
But really, you got to internalize.
Yeah, that's
that
a pretty bad parent move. I'll give that a negative 3 out of 10.
It's, you know what's funny? Like, because we've talked about doing the podcast and we want to turn this into a visual thing, I really do want to go back to being jacked so that I can look impressive.
Oh, shit.
Thing. Because the worst part is I don't actually mind going back and listening to us on the podcast and hearing our voices. I'm okay with that part. But if we do a visual podcast and I see my little tubby ass sitting there in a chair next to, especially when Kang's going to get swole Kang.
Swole Kang.
Oh, but I can't be smaller than Kang. I'm going to have to be bigger than
It's a
Kang.
motivation.
So
It
yeah, I
is,
think we can motivate ourselves. You know, there's that Rick and Morty montage where it's like the daughter and Rick, and they do like, and
know
they
exactly
get
what you're
jacked.
talking about,
I
yeah.
want that to be me and Kang,
Yeah.
while William like stands very scared along the side looking at us.
Yeah. How dare you leave a podcast, William?
The next
Come back
one
next
night.
Yeah,
episode.
the next
One
time
night.
that William needs to move his podcast because something's getting renovated in his house,
During
who
the
knows?
day?
We just want to flex.
Yeah. We gained 2 inches on our biceps.
Yeah, for anybody listening, we're on a Thursday night instead of a Wednesday. We're past after close, so it's 10 o'clock at night after Commander. I'm still in my work gear from 2 o'clock this morning, and I convinced John to be on the podcast like at 40 minutes before we started.
I'm good. I'm good, Danny. That's good.
And some reason, that's the reason we can't do recording us tonight with Will, because renovations happen.
Renovation. Yeah, no, he's busy.
At 11 o'clock on
11
Thursday
o'clock
night.
night, yeah. So my question for you, Kang.
Okay.
What's your target? What do you want to get out of your swole journey?
It's hard.
It's hard.
Because I look at pictures
I also
of
want to
like
get hard.
Yeah, I look at
That is what it is.
Nice.
That's
Well,
the
yes,
goal?
yes. The goal of all men is to get hard, right? That's the evolutionary goal. But you know, it's like
As
I
you
look
get older, it's harder.
Yeah, I look at pictures of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Let's just set myself up for.
That's what you
Let's
wanna
set
do,
myself up
Kang.
for failure.
Oh, this is the car thing all over again,
Yeah.
where you're like, what's the premium thing to begin with?
Yeah.
And then we'll set ourselves
if I
up.
don't
Ronnie,
have a,
Ronnie Coleman,
Ronnie Coleman.
right above my bed.
Yeah. If I don't have an IWC, why even bother?
Oi, I'm so down for Kang Coleman.
Kang Coleman.
You just see me with syringes like coming out of my ass as I walk in. I'm still jacking in.
Some dude comes and like tries to pay for Commander, and you just like swipe him away. Get away with me. Sorry.
How much do you bench, bro?
Kang goes to shuffle his cards and they just break in half.
Oh man.
Well, you're still quite strong, Danny. Like you are.
Yeah.
Do you have the old man strength?
I do
building?
have the old man strength.
You got the epitome of that classic like dad strength now.
I do quite a physical job during the day. Like I really, really do. Like I carry sometimes upwards of like 16 to 20 ton worth of goods into houses by hand a day. It's a lot. I do probably more physical work than most people, like even in going to the gym, I'm doing a lot. But unfortunately, I don't have a very impressive physique. You can tell that I'm like built to do like powerlifting, which is what I did. So even when I benched, and it's not massive, but I'm definitely in the top like 1%. So my best was 132.5 kilos on the bench. It's quite a lot. But I didn't look anywhere, I probably looked half the size of my mate who was benching half that, but he looked twice as big as me.
Well,
and at some point, I just got more thick, I guess, like more dense. It's the
Thickened up.
density. I can't physically look any bigger, but I'm clearly getting stronger.
You're made to fight a bear.
And you know when some people go to the gym and they're like, I just want to be healthy and I just want to, just shut up. You want to look fucking massive.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
just want to go and look massive. So when someone like cuts you off in the thing, instead of turning around and flipping you off, they go to turn around. They're like, oh, I don't want to fight this guy. It's like, I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to get out and blow my knees out. I'm still old, but I just want to look fucking massive.
You want to intimidate
And
him.
anybody who
You want
says
to be
anything
intimidated.
different is fucking stupid.
Every guy will go to the gym. Maybe he'll be like, I'm gonna get healthy. No. You're gonna be there for a little bit of time, and it takes like 2 weeks for you to be like, I want to get massive.
I don't want to disparage anybody. Anybody. But if you're doing any cardio at a gym, all right, what are you fucking doing?
I'm taking John with me to the gym. We're gonna get John.
We're gonna
massive.
get massive.
Just-
but
you just go and you just do every exercise you do, you also bicep curl at the same time, all right?
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ! Every
Just
day,
every-
every day.
every single
just
thing.
going
That's
for a
how you-
run on
that's
a,
how you-
treadmill. You're just like, I'm
Yeah,
pumped.
absolutely. If you're not squatting and bicep curling at the same
And
time,
running.
fucking
That's
you
how
know
you
what you're
cause. immediate like chronic failure.
Yeah. Just blow, your bones just break.
Your physio is gonna be like, you again?
You need to get to the point where you just look at the gym door and your body hits failure. All right, like your body needs to know. You can mentally train. All right.
But going
And
back to
in
your,
between that, how much TRT do I need?
I'll ask you a question, Danny. Have you seen that? What's his name? Anatoly or something? The dude who dresses up as like a worker, and there's these massive dudes powerlifting, right? So there's this massive jack guy.
Oh,
and he picks it up.
Yeah,
and then
he dresses like a
like
cleaning
janitor.
guy.
Yeah, and he like rocks up and he's like, oh yeah, good weight, and like just picks it up and just like moves it. It's like, X 100 kilos, whatever.
And that's what I mean. And the guys that he's doing that with, there might be like 100 kilos on the deadlift or whatever. And the guys that he's doing that with look twice his size.
or more.
Yeah.
Like they're massive dudes. And he's just like, I lift, and he's just like, how?
The videos that John's referring to is like there'll be guys in a gym and the footages of them like doing the lift, and then the janitor who dressed up clearly is like a real janitor, but he'll go over and he'll be like, oh, just move out of the way, and he'll pick this like a dumbbell up or a bench press, like a deadlift, with the weights on it. Looks super easy and just kind of moves it out of the way so you can continue vacuuming. And
Casually.
It's very
Like,
funny.
Super casual.
There's a
Dudes are
couple
like,
that-
what's going on? They kind of try and check if it's real weights and stuff.
They
Crazy.
tried to do it with Arnold Schwarzenegger and like Gold's Gym and stuff. But they had like dressed him up as like a janitor. But really, it was just him with a mustache on, and he wasn't fooling anybody, bro. He was not fooling no one.
Schwarzenegger's what, like 6'4" or something?
Yeah, and the
Massive.
media moment he speaks, it's like, this gym.
Wait,
I have to clean up this mess in the floor.
I know that voice. Is that Arnold?
Yeah, anyone that works out seriously has at least one point in their life had an Arnold Schwarzenegger poster in their room.
If you've watched like a B grade movie since the 70s, you've seen Arnold
Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger. It's a Simpsons episode when Mr. Burns is at the like the assembly. He's like, "What's your name?" "My name's Mr. Snrub." He's got like a little moustache.
Yes,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But is the goal to get massive, or is the goal to be like, you get those guys who have the perfect genetics where they got the tiny waists and the real cut with abs.
That's not real. Don't worry about
like
that.
Ziz and all that. You know what I mean? Because there's a guy on YouTube that's passed by my feed, and he's like this real tall guy, real nice guy with cool, clean abs, and he's got neck tattoos and stuff.
abs.
He looks real cool.
I said, stop.
All right.
That's not real shit.
Right.
That
But
guy's
how do I get that?
That guy's trained excessively.
Okay.
He's on a very strict diet,
Okay.
and he's fasted for like 6 hours before he's got to that point minimum. And like when you do like bodybuilding for shows, so it's you're literally like fasting water for like 20 hours beforehand, so all your skin pulls back against itself to make your muscles look as defined and as like hectic as possible. It's just not at all realistic. You can be hugely strong and big, but still not have a six pack. And the six pack is bullshit. It's like not. It's just
Lies.
not. It's
The six pack is lies.
and if you meet any good woman, she'll tell you that she doesn't want to lie on the six pack because it's not as comfortable as a nice squishy tummy.
Nah, that's a lie.
It's a fucking lie.
No way.
But as long as they're saying
Yeah.
it to you, that's all that matters.
Every girl wants a guy with this pack. What are you
I
talking
can't
about?
say I've ever been in this situation, but I like the way you're saying this. Danny. I believe you.
Yeah.
No, it's like realistically to hold a six pack, you're putting so much effort into that. I don't think that's worth it.
So alongside getting the gains, I should get kidney failure. Yes, right. Okay.
That's what Danny's saying.
So I'm gonna put that as part 2 of my 3-step plan.
Step one.
Guys who do
Gains.
shows for like body, like power, like not powerlifting, the bodybuilding, they do contract long-term issues with like water retention and like headaches and things with their kidneys where because they're taking a lot of vitamins and stuff like that as well, when they're not having the hydration go through them for such a long period of time. And then it's like, these guys they'll push themselves, and you'll see guys pass out on stage because they're literally at the point of failure. Like you see it sometimes in the UFC, and maybe the UFC is probably better nowadays, but like in the early 90s and like boxing and stuff, guys have like fasted to try and all like cut weight, and they'll pass out on stage, like getting their way in. It's very much like that because the thing is like when you're up on stage for the bodybuilding, people are like I'm like, now I'm doing some cool moves over here for the visual podcast we got here, but they'll be like tensing as hard as they can, and you're contracting and you're putting like the actual form of tensing is quite a lot of work for your muscles to do. So some guys have like workout techniques where they just get the dumbbells and they just like fucking clench really hard with them, and like that is technically doing something. And it's like you can do that enough where it just drains all the energy left in you, and you just like pass out. And you'll see guys up on stage like massive guys, spray tanned orange as hell, tiny little gold like maxi shorts, and then just hitting the deck, and you're like,
Yeah.
I was like,
So I got a mate who works out seriously, and he says that when your body reaches that point of failure, right, and you pass out, you also just lose all bodily control of like your lower body, and sometimes you just shit yourself.
Well, I mean, that's what long distance runners happens, right? When they run like the Boston
Yeah,
Marathon.
you just like,
Yeah.
it's like whatever's in you is
Run around
out.
the-
So my
the
mates,
fence.
like if I'm ever like working out super hard, doing like a deadlift or whatever, and I pass out and I shit myself, when I come to consciousness, I'm just pretend that I died. I'm just gonna stay there on the ground until they call the ambulance. Just have the ambulance take me out because I'm not going to like wake. I'm not gonna
You're not
walk
walking
up
through with shitty pants.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get up and walk out.
That's why you need to always
Just
train
commit.
with a mate, and
Yeah.
then that you and that mate have a pact.
Yeah.
And you say if anything like that ever happens, that your mate goes back to the same gym and he's like, "Oh, that guy died."
Yeah.
You'll never
didn't
see them
make
again,
it.
but it's
He
important
didn't
that
make
they
it.
know.
Yeah.
That's a lifelong friend. That's a friend you can rely on.
He didn't shit himself. He just died.
He just died.
Guys, I'm sorry.
So the body and the brain is a functioning computer.
Yeah.
Just like our computer here at the club when I try to do duck race to give the prize away. And
That
then-
was fun, Danny. Kang wasn't here for it, but it was perfect and well executed.
I tried-
Especially when you try to make 69 seconds and turn it to be 1 minute and 9 seconds.
I punched the 69 being like, this is going to be hilarious. Pops up on the screen, just 109. I'm like, that's
Nice.
fun. I tried to turn it into like a sports betting thing where I had 4 different screens of the different races going at the same time. Instantly maxed out the computer and it was like, So our body is just that, right? It can only do, it's thinking about all the functions it's doing at any point in time, including breathing, including processing water, working your kidneys and your heart and your lungs. Obviously, there's parts where your heart and your lungs and your breathing, it'll try to do that no matter what. But if you max your RAM out of your brain, it will forget and like start reprioritizing things, including your bowels.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Like, it's like we hit failure, your body's like, oh, I've got way bigger problems right now than worrying about whether there's shit in your pants.
It's the extra boost to get that lift.
It's like we're just doing everything to keep breathing right now. So
stay alive.
everything else is a
Yeah.
fucking goner.
Well, we've been talking about not hobby for 50 minutes now. So if you guys tune into the Northern Boards, like the Boardcast, thinking it's a hobby cast,
Sorry,
joke's on you.
It's the hobby.
Yeah. Anyway,
Working as a hobby.
now that we got you here for 50 minutes, let's talk about hobby. So you guys, John and Danny, have been picking up this, I don't know what the hell that is, pirate game? What's it called? It's a top of Warhammer. In
We
every game
attempted to
play.
buy Black Seas, which we
A well-known game.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you play Black Seas, John? Oh, dude, yeah, that
Dude,
game.
who isn't playing Black Seas?
Oh,
That's
man.
the question.
Yeah.
we decided that because we're playing Warhammer Fantasy at the moment. Love that. It's a very period game. Like,
Very
it's deep into the fantasy universe. So we thought we wanted to be cool pirate guys. I see you've come as a colonizer already, John.
Thanks.
Dressed-
It's called my friend shirt. Thank you very much.
John's wearing a black and white stripy shirt. So he's really
French.
building. What?
I don't know. I get called as my friend shirt. It's sort of
Oh, French. I thought you said
French.
friends.
French.
To me, it feels more like you're
Like a jail inmate.
pirate.
yeah, an inmate from like 1932.
true.
You should have a
It's a
big
bit
like
like,
ball and chain on your leg right now.
It's a bit like what's that? Puri Prisoner from One Punch Man.
What?
Oh my god, yeah, there's furry prisoner.
his name
yeah,
is.
it's
Yeah,
an
yeah,
anime.
yeah.
It's
Anime.
a really super jacked black gay man.
That when I
That's another one. I think.
What? I've been talking about
I'm not sure.
I've been talking about muscle bodybuilders for too long.
I don't know what Kate's talking about.
when I look at John, I do think of large black gay man.
Yeah.
Feels a bit weird, but okay. But speaking about,
Well, I want
black
to really
things-
build the
Inside fantasy.
Yeah, build
Yeah,
the
yeah,
vision
yeah.
for the listeners about what you look like.
True, huge, just jacked black
Massive
dude.
jack.
Yeah, John is at least 7 foot tall.
Some say at least.
Yeah, at least.
maybe 7.5 feet. Yeah.
And so one other stupid 12 o'clock night where we were still hanging around the club, we decided we want to be pirates and play this pirate game. So what we did was spend hours deciding whether we spend $160 on a Black Sea starter kit. And we did that and we sent the order to our distributor. And I thought, oh, there's some little cool things on there. So I got the scenery plaque, which includes a ship crushed ashore and a lighthouse and some little islands.
It is very cool.
And then I got the rule book, obviously, so we can learn the rules. And then I ordered the starter kit. And you know what they didn't send us? The starter kit. So I have a pack of islands and a rule book and no little boats to play with.
As I said to you, Danny, I will order as my contribution the starter deck.
Yeah, but your contribution is already going to be
Starter set.
build them, paint them, and learn the rules. So I
True.
don't.
True.
I'm not sure what my contribution.
I didn't say it was a fair contribution.
So to set the scene here, what era is Black
I think
Seas?
it's like English versus
Like Industrial
Spanish.
Revolution,
No,
or-
pre that.
It's all English
Like
and
the
French.
Age of
17,
Sails.
like Battle of Trafalgar.
I have it. I have a
1700s,
date.
Like
1800s.
Napoleon.
So
type?
it is
Yeah.
French versus English. So
Yeah.
you take a guess, John, at the date.
1740.
Go, Kang.
2.
It is 1770 to 1830.
Oh, okay. Bit later than I was thinking. So before Napoleon. And
I missed it just.
Yeah. Close. Yeah,
Sorry,
2.
One of the games for the I'm a real nightmare. I feel bad for our own customers. Like whenever I take over events from Kang, like one of the games tonight, I stopped everybody during Commander and made everybody shout out a number between 1 and 1,000, and then.
This actually happened.
And then I tracked it on a spreadsheet, and then the person who picked the number closest to the number that I got from another guy playing Warhammer to put on a sticker note, they won the promo, right?
Nice.
And then mid-process, I realized this tool was taking way longer than I thought it was going to. So people just were like going to play the game while I was doing this. And then I lost the sticker note where Pete had wrote the number on. And in the end, that sticker note was stuck to the card that I'd used. Because I started with a good plan and then forgot that I had a good plan.
I look at our Google reviews and it was like, Commander was fun. I don't know who that guy was shouting at us.
The worst bit is I'm still in my like high-vis gear from being on the truck. So like it's okay because regulars know. They come in, they see me, they're like, fuck, well, this is what we're doing tonight. We got this guy. But at least they know that I'm supposed to be sitting behind the counter taking their money from them. We had a few new guys and they're like who the fuck is this guy?
What is even happening? What they don't do this at GG's.
I'm okay with this. Yeah. You come to Northern Boards and sometimes you get the Danny extravaganza.
Sometimes we get the Kang professionalism. Super well run events.
Yeah.
Kang always well run.
you.
Very, very, very slick. Right? You come in at 6:30, Commander starting. You know, the board. How many? What was the time you put on today, Danny?
So what?
How long was the rounds today?
It was
Not
what it
Kang's,
is
not Kang's time. That's what it was. It was not
what
Kang's
it
time.
is 10 to 15 to 20 minutes after the round has started, I realized I haven't put a timer on. So then I put a timer on based on how much time I think is left. And if you've got a problem with that, John, go fuck yourself.
No. I'm just for the viewers or listeners setting the scene of a Kang experience versus a Danny experience.
I think if you
That's
go
all.
to the Facebook event, it will say 70-minute rounds. And if anybody has any questions, they can email it to please, John, go fuck off.
A fair email address.
It's like 10 p.m. People are like, have we changed rounds yet?
Well, I was like, in the first game, I looked at it like, an hour?
Yeah.
I've never seen an hour as the start time. Okay, I guess we'll play Commander.
It's 70 minutes, right? Is that right?
Sure.
It was the same as the 40K event the other weekend. At the minute Kang, because Kang was here from the start, he comes in at 9, or he comes in at before 9, so it can start at 9. He's all organized and prepared, lays everything out. He spreads everything out on the counter for me. He's like, this is what you give away for this, and this is what you give away for this. And the minute he left, I stopped everyone. I was like, look, Kang's left me very strict instructions about how to deal with the situation, and I'm throwing them out the fucking window. And I had guys playing like took the take win prizes. There was like a mini game where
This is the part of the Disney ride where they tell you to put the safety gear on.
Daddy's the really dodgy looking ride operator. Who's like smoking. It's like 4 times divorced.
Are you sure
he
this
just
is
doesn't give a
safe?
shit
Yeah,
anymore,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
he's
He just
holding
doesn't
onto the
care.
seatbelt.
When was the last
Yeah.
time this got serviced? Is it safe? Are you sure this is safe to ride?
He's like, it's fine.
yeah.
Off you go, boys.
Don't mind the bodies.
For the 40K doubles tournament, I got people to play a rock, paper, scissors, because it was a team play. So there's 2 people per team, and then they had to rock, paper, scissors off against the other teams and like a quick Swiss cut round. But the rock, paper, scissors were on dice. So they had to roll off. And in the end, Brandon, so that half the store credit was given away that way. And then, so Brandon and Mark Cheng, they won that half of the store credit, right? Sure. And then the other half of the store credit for the tournament, because it is a casual tournament, so it's not about a winning, who cares? There's some guys won. I feel bad for them right this second, but they did win. I don't care. So we moved past that part. And then the second part of the thing was like the players, I wanted players to vote on who was their favorite game against. So I went around and I took all their names, and then I wrote them onto pieces of paper like Survivor, and then I pulled them out of a hat in a voting style situation, except they wanted to get voted in, not off. They're not getting voted off the show.
Yeah.
They're getting voted into store credit.
Yeah.
So then Eli and Izzy, they got half the votes. and Mark Cheng and Brandon got the other half of the votes. So Mark Cheng and Brandon didn't win a single game the entire tournament and walked away with 75% of the store credit.
That's a good way to do a casual event. I'll be honest, Danny. That's fun. That's good.
The Northern Board's way is you can win every single one of your games and still feel like a loser.
Correct. That's the message, guys. That's the message.
Don't try too hard. Northern Boards.
Don't try.
But you know what? I think it's fun, and as far as I know, nobody complains to my face. Maybe there's some people that just never come back.
But to be honest, I think if you come to a doubles event and you want to win, right, the prize money is not what you're here for. You're here to win, right, and that's fine. And that is the thrill, right? You've built your list. You've cut you and your mate have worked it out. You've sussed it out. You're gonna win.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that you're gonna get $60 store credit is cool, but it's not what you're here for.
Yeah.
You're here to play and you're not to smash people into the ground.
And I think we're pretty lucky that our community is very much like that. Yeah. So many of our regulars and people that come every weekend and just put up with my shit, they know that they're coming for a good community here, and like the people they're hanging out with and they're getting lunch and they're, it's their mates they're coming down with it. And that's really what the specialty of like a place like this is like, you don't have to buy anything if you don't want to. The support is always appreciated, but you can come down and hang out with your mates and like, I don't know, really have a good time. I think it's really special. And then I yell at you.
Yeah. And high-vis and get you to name a number between 1 and 1,000.
I'm excited for Pirate Daddy.
Pirate Daddy.
Yeah.
Do you know back when I...
Because now you're playing pirate games.
We're playing pirate games, all right?
Right.
Yeah. So the game for people, because Black Seas is actually a thing. We're not just making it up. It exists in reality.
I didn't create a game just so I could dress like a pirate.
Yeah, correct. But it's by Warlord Games.
Yes.
So they're the guys who do Bolt Action and Hail Caesar.
Yeah.
And
so
a bunch
actual
of
real
other
games.
Yeah. So I think they were an offshoot of G-Dub. Some of the guys from G-Dub were some of the early guys were somehow related to Warlord Games. I don't know exactly how that works, but I think that
I have heard the Bolt Action, which is the World War II game, plays a lot like 40k in like 6th or 7th edition.
Okay. So I haven't played it yet. I haven't played Bolt Action, but
with Bolt Action, you put all your dice into a bag, and so your opponent and yourself put all the dice into the bag, and you have different colors, and then you like secretly pull or unseen pull the dice out of the bag, and then you get to activate one of your units, and the dice, like different dice, will have like different activated abilities they can do on it, and then you basically move each one of your individual units one at a time. Yeah, so it seems a little complicated, but it's quite
like
popular.
World War II. That's the thing, right?
Sure.
That's kind of like you'd imagine war not being particularly well organized in the sense you'd be chaotic. Things just happen.
Well, supposedly Bolt Action isn't very historically correct, but maybe a little bit more fun to play. And then Flames of War is very historically correct, but that means like your German Panzer lists like dominate all the tournament lists. Yeah,
which is fine, right? I everyone plays games for different reasons, but Black Seas is a ship-based game.
There's
a ship-based game.
There's a beautiful ocean.
There's an ocean, and you have ships, and you verse each other with ships, and you shoot each other with cannons.
So far, I've heard about ships and oceans. Cool.
And you shoot each other with cannons.
And cannons.
And we read the quick review, because I think Spiky Bits had just, by coincidence, said that this is like the year of the ship or something.
Yes, it's the year of the dragon and the year of the ship.
The year of the ship, yeah. Chinese, step aside.
Yeah.
Right? It's the year of the ship. And they were talking about this game, and they were saying like there's wind effects, like when you shoot, you have to compensate for the wind, and blah, 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 blah. And it sounded amazing. And they said, it's worth a try.
How do I play? How do I get in?
I don't know.
Okay. What faction is it? What country is everyone playing?
Well, there's France. I think the starter set's France and
There's
England.
only French and English.
No, there is expansion sets for Spain. I can see that.
Oh, the Conquistadors.
Yeah, so you get some Armada.
I can spread some smallpox.
Is that a new world I can conquer?
Yeah, I can run an entire civilization.
Yeah. So we're gonna have the three major empires. We have who dibs what? Who dibs what?
I think I'll go English.
You're English. So you're French.
I like.
What are you on?
I reckon.
See.
See? I was gonna say, Daddy. I think he's got his eye on the Spanish. He's downplaying it, but he wants the Spanish. I can see it in his eyes.
Secretly, do you want to play as the French?
Me?
Do people want to play as the French?
Not overly.
I am a big fan of like crumpets and croissants.
So
I don't know if crumpets are very French.
I think crumpets are English, but croissant is French. Croissant.
We're just offending our like
one
listen.
French
The one French.
The one
listener.
French guy.
Yeah, he's like, I'm turning off the podcast.
Subscribe from Northern Boards.
I actually have a friend who used to live here in Perth, and then he moved back to France, and he was like a very good friend of mine, and he used to play Magic with us. So maybe I can try and I should send this to him and see if he can recruit me some French listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that spike on like
You know,
the
I
Spotify.
give France a lot of shit, but I did watch that Napoleon movie, and it was very cool.
See,
Yeah. And I was like, maybe the French aren't too bad. So that was pretty cool.
It's a controversial take, right?
Yeah.
It's a controversial take. I watched Napoleon knowing that it was not particularly historically accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
And I people have this thing where they get very hung up on being historically accurate, true to the law, whatever it is. And instead of just like turning off your brain and going, did I enjoy the movie? And like there's issues with the movie and blah, blah, blah. But I enjoyed that movie. I actually, it was an enjoyable experience.
Well, most of the
I
beats
spent
still
2
covered
hours
like
and it was fine.
it was a 3-hour movie actually.
3 hours
Yeah.
and it was fine.
I went in
3 hours
because
covers all of French history, right? Yeah.
Correct.
yeah, watching cannons fire into dudes always entertaining.
Yeah, it's
It was
like,
amazing cannons fire.
Yeah.
It's like The Patriot, with Mel Gibson. And then they have
Yeah.
like this revolutionary
Yes,
war
yes.
and they're like walking towards each other. Have you seen that
Master and
movie?
Commander, where they're on
baby.
boats.
Go to the Galapagos.
Do you know what's funny? As a child, I always wanted to watch Master and Commander, but I couldn't because I was a child and the internet didn't exist. And then I became an adult and I forgot about it. And then I became a real adult and I had an Amazon account and I watched Master and Commander
good
at
is
like
it?
28. And I was like,
It's
this is
amazing.
as good as I thought it was
So-
going to be.
when we were when my parents, I think it was either we bought the TV or we bought an Xbox, whatever it was a Harvey Norman deal, and we got like 5 free movies. And one of those movies was
They actually do
Master
that
and
now,
Commander.
but it's 85 free DVDs.
So we
with
had
a purchase
5.
of toaster.
We had 5. Yeah. You actually just own the movie, like the producers now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had Master and Commander was one of those movies. I think Dude, Where's My Car was one of those movies. So, classics. Like it was a weird mix. But I watched Master and Commander as a kid, and I watched it a lot, and it is amazing.
Pretty good.
It's like what was it? Kingdom of Heaven.
yes, yeah.
Nice.
For me, there's like this certain movies, certain themes which conglomerate,
Iconic.
and they form in the same part of your brain. And it's like Master and Commander, Kingdom of Heaven, Alexander. Even I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Troy. There's certain movies which sort of like just
I feel like that. You know,
together.
John likes his history.
that early
A little bit.
2000s was a real like a real banger for like historically
Yes.
ambiguous movies.
correct. They were semi based on reality, but
Yeah.
also this really cool. Yeah.
I wonder if we can get back there.
You can probably trace those movies to why people love like ancient Rome so much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the history of that stuff, like Gladiator, perfect
Yes,
example,
absolutely.
right? Gladiator, how good is Gladiator?
Gladiator was so.
Holy
Do you know there's a new
shit.
Gladiator?
Yes.
Did we already talk about this on
We
the podcast?
talked about it. We're going full circle. We mentioned Gladiator 2 on like episode 1 or 2.
It's fine. This is episode 10.
And we'll
isn't it?
name drop Dune and we'll name drop
Wait,
Fallout. And
we
we'll
will-
every episode.
We were watching June on the computer today.
Whoa.
From the first The 60s
June?
movie.
Did you guys watch the fan edit?
I haven't watched it yet. I've been
So
meaning
good.
to.
So good.
I have not quite convinced my wife to do it, but I think I can swing it.
Are you going to put your wife through that ordeal?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put her through all the sci-fi. It was one of the testing grounds for our.
You were like, it's me
relationship.
or the cats.
It was, yeah, it
you
was
have
like,
to watch the Dune
When we
movie.
first started going, I was like, we need to watch all the Star Wars.
Yes.
And I'll just gauge your
Understandable.
reaction and just. Like a note.
Has she
I
watched
like,
any Star Wars prior?
no.
Were you really just trying to see how far you could push it? Is that really what it
Well,
was?
I wanted to share something which was meaningful to me, Danny,
Right,
and
right,
also see how far I could push it. Yeah. But like, it's one of those things, right? It's like, did you enjoy this movie? She's like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm like,
Yeah. Plus one to marriage material.
yeah. Very good, very good.
Yeah.
And then forced her to watch all the Star Treks, like watched all Next Gen,
that's
and all
a-
Voyager,
that's a different
and
trek.
all DS9.
It sounds like
Oh my
It sounds
God.
it sounds
Oh,
more
yeah.
like she just had learned the ability to fall asleep with her eyes open. That's what it feels like to me.
Look, her eyes were open. I'm not sure if she was paying attention, so maybe you're right, Danny.
John started his relationship with a 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah. It's like, you into this? She's like, what? Where am I? What's happening? Is this Star Trek? Who are you? Yeah, the brain just turned off.
We've hit all the notes in this episode. Gym and family matters, right? Like
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
marriage advice. Marriage advice number 1. John, what's your marriage advice right now?
Yeah, you've got an
Whoa.
actual functional relationship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
If you had to summarize it into like one word.
how many
That's
cats is
really
the perfect
tough.
Not
number
one
of
word,
cats
sorry,
to
just
make
like
a
a
good
phrase.
relationship?
Phrase?
Yeah.
I would say ignoring some little things.
Oh, that's actually really nice. That's really wholesome.
Because certain things they can grind you.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes just let it go. Just let it go.
Was she like,
okay.
I don't like this tune? Is that what she
No,
said?
that would be a big thing.
That
But like there's certain things like you've had a cup of tea
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is, and your tea bag is in the cup, and you've forgotten to throw it back into the bin, right? That's a little thing.
Yeah,
You could
of
either
course.
make it
It's a
into
little
big
thing,
or
Kane,
you
but
can
he was
move
able to
on.
bring it up straight away. Like,
Correct.
it's almost on
I'm
his
just
mind.
thinking of
Of-
examples, right? Nothing specific, but that would be my advice, Kang. Just sometimes don't sweat it.
Yeah,
Just,
Kang.
just let it
Stop
go.
leaving your fucking tea bags out, man.
Yeah.
Kang.
Now I can get married, guys.
You can't.
I'm
You're set. Once you're
I'm
gonna
swole.
get sorted.
Yeah, I'm gonna get really swole, get kidney failure, right? Become a pirate, and then
Scurvy.
get
He
married.
gets scurvy from no
It's like
tea.
there's Instagram. We were talking about Instagram before we like doom scrolling Instagram.
Yeah, correct.
And there's those ick videos, right? And it's like there's like a dude does something really
Oh,
basic,
yeah.
right? He's like, walks down the street, like, oh my god, it's like, and there's like a list of like 500 things of men, like the icks,
They
and
can't
it's
do
like
it, yeah.
walking across the street. Yeah. So it's,
Yeah, breathing alive.
Breathing. Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? I know the exact thing you're talking about, right? And it's like, it is like, the girl will be like, oh, the girls get an ick when they see this. And then the guy like shows a list and he scrolls down the list showing that like exposing there's like hundreds of things there. But the one I saw today was them walking down a hill. And you know how you kind of find like if the hill's too steep when you walk down the hill forward, you got to kind of like do a little
Yeah,
waddle.
do a little
And
step.
I've always thought I look like a pussy when walking down a hill. And I was like, now I've
confirmed.
been justified.
Yeah, you'll see that list of things that turn off girls, and it's like you scroll through and you're like, all right, well, I'm just gonna uninstall Tinder.
I have no hope.
Yeah, especially when Tinder's on that list of things they give you.
Yeah.
Do we have any new Patreon members we want to thank?
We do. We've got Nick from One Piece.
Oh, very
really
nice.
putting in work. Obviously not enough work to come to the fucking podcast, but enough work to bring his friends along to the Patreon.
Very
So
good.
I think that'll put us at number 9. We're nearly there.
Hmm.
We're nearly there. To John on the podcast is a Patreon
I am
member.
a Patreon member.
I don't want to set
Esteemed
an
John.
example where that's how you get on the podcast. How you get on the podcast is William cancels at last minute and then you just happen to be here. So
Or
come and
you
hang
become
out
a
in my
patron.
store all day long.
Yeah.
This podcast is a big deal, all right? We don't want to sabotage William. It's a big
right,
deal,
yeah.
guys. Yeah.
We also know William doesn't listen to this, so we can actually talk as much shit as we want. He's actively said that he doesn't listen.
Giving us free rein.
it's kind of a weird thing to listen back to yourself. I don't know if I could. I would just be like, nah,
So are you going to skip this one?
100%.
We've lost one of our 59 listeners.
Oh, no. We need the listeners,
have it,
John.
I'll have it on the background in mute.
Just
right?
skip
For
all the
you.
parts that are you.
Yeah. Well, you said like it broke it down, right? Broke it down by chapter? Just break it down by John. And it's like, ignore.
I
Oh,
tried.
yeah, I actually have a fucking complaint, all right? So you know how Spotify's add books to their thing? Do you know it maxes out on how many hours you can listen to?
No. What?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
maxes out
So
on
I
hours?
started listening to The King's Assassin. I don't know if you've heard it before.
No.
It's actually pretty good.
I don't read books.
Because I tried to do...
It's like he's never left. The spirit of William is in that seat. Not a single book, John? You know what I mean?
Fuck it.
Yeah.
I just want John to tell me about stuff he doesn't do. I don't fish.
Fish.
Do you like Transformers?
I don't know, man. If it's the fact that I've now 100% been up for more than 24 hours, how delirious is the... What a fucking nightmare.
Oh man.
So I got to the fucking second last chapter of this book and Spotify's like, you need to add more hours. And you know what? I was like, I am a pathetic pussy bitch. I am going to pay for more hours. I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Really?
I couldn't it says you got to pay for more hours to listen to to finish this up and it will renew in 7 days. And there's one button and it says got it. So I press got it. Doesn't take you anywhere. It just goes back to the screen that says you've run out of hours. And I'm like, okay, Spotify.
Damn. So it's not like Audible where you own the book.
You don't own the book. And I never did own the book. But if there was an option, I would have paid $1 or $2 for the book. I know that's pathetic for someone who spent hundreds of hours writing this
$2 for a book is no big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's like even on Audible, it's like $15 per book essentially. So it's not an insignificant amount of money. Like I thought, I've been listening to the 40K Horus Heresy.
Oh, yeah.
If I try to finish Horus Heresy on Audible, I'm spending like $2,000.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So,
But theoretically, it's still cheaper than a book, and you have someone read it to you.
yeah, I've got no complaints about that. It's not insignificant, but I'm happy. I'm happy spending that price. It would feel dodgy not doing that. So I limit myself to 3 books a month, and then I listen to the podcast on Spotify. Right. If Spotify had given me the option to buy the fucking book, I would have done that. If it gave me the option to pay the extra $4 for the hours of listening to finish the book, I would have done that. They didn't give me that option, and now I'm just listening to myself like last week's podcast 3 times in a row to get the listens.
Fair enough. So
I've
what
never
actually-
been cold shouldered by Spotify before.
No, I was like, it's weird. So what actually happened? It just said You're out. You're out.
Yeah.
You're done.
So I'd got out of the truck and I was on the
weird.
crane and it stopped. And sometimes like, I don't know, my Bluetooth headphones will cut out or whatever. And then I just get back in and I restart it. I go back in and I got a message saying I've run out of hours. And it literally just one window comes up and it says like, it says you've run out of hours, you can add more. And I'm like, okay. And it just says got it. So you press got it. And then it just takes you back to
got
the
it means okay. Doesn't mean do it, Danny.
I know, but there was not another option. If it said, got it, here's your button to pay more money.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they make that as easy as possible for you to add more
But
dollars
you pay
on?
for Spotify, right?
Yeah. I pay for a family plan
So do I.
because I have my child on there and I have my nan on there and me.
Yeah.
My nan, it was a mistake because I have to show my nan how to log into Spotify 1,000 times. and she just listens to Elvis, which I'm pretty sure she could have done on the 12 CDs of Elvis she has already. But that's fine. I love my nan. I'm happy to support. And Lucas had to have his own because even though we have very similar music tastes because I brought him with the music that I listen to, he also listens to like hard trap English music. And I am, somewhat cool in my mind, not that cool.
Hard trap English music.
Yeah, like very
drill.
like
UK
yeah,
drill.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's if you really wanna, I guess I understand what my mum heard when I was listening to like 36 Crazy Fish or Corn when I was a child. I just assume my child's very angry. Listen to very angry, fast music.
I mean, he might be.
He'll get into the shower with his and play his drill music, and I'm like, man, this guy is just like, it's weird music to jerk off to. I'd say.
I think
And that's the podcast.
I think music is supposed to like provide you like an outlet, but also kind of it's an experience because I'll listen to like really, really angry things and it soothes me. Like it's nice.
get what you're
It's like
saying,
for me to like expel it. So like if Lucas listens to like real hardcore UK drill, maybe it's healthier for him.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely been studies where it shows it's not about what the content of the music is. It's about the feeling that it brings out of you, right?
correct.
So it's like you can listen to like metal music if you were to have this nostalgia and it brings you back to a time where there's more peace, or you know what I mean. It's like that thing. So it's like it doesn't matter what the music is, as long as it provides you that soothing thing. No matter what the music it can be, that totally accept that. But I'm also old and I have the right to complain. So
Yeah, for sure.
Reserve that right there.
How many Patreons do we have now? What is the magic number?
we're at 9.
9.
So one more, and I have to then do the task of sorting out the shirts.
Do you know who you're going to use for the shirts?
I was going to use Color Cartel,
Okay.
but I'm willing to accept recommendations.
Okay, so I got all my shirts made for my team, for my 40K team, Sweep the Leg.
Are they all striped?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm
But-
willing to listen further.
Yeah, go on. It's a dude who has a business in Osborne Park.
Okay.
His name is T-Biz is the business.
Okay.
T-Biz.
T-Biz
T-Biz.
sounds quite cool.
He's a cool dude, really nice guy. I think Mark got his team shirts made there as well. Very reasonably priced, good quality shirts, and you can get V-neck like type 1, so they're not. Because some of the shirts you buy are like literally, I'm doing stuff which is not coming through, but basically like suffocating. Basically
It's like a crew
suffocating.
neck, right?
Yeah.
It's up to the neck.
Sometimes I'm not a huge fan of those because I have a chunky neck. So
When you
the
say a V-neck, are you talking about a collared shirt?
No, just a regular
No, like a
shirt that
regular
goes
shirt.
down
It just has
rather
a-
than a crew neck like what I'm wearing.
I didn't want to go like back
around
to early 2000s where it was a proper V-neck.
No, it's not a V-neck with the collar. It's just a more lower slung shirt, so it's a bit more comfortable to
Yeah,
wear.
yeah.
But he does really good stuff. Just saying.
Interesting. I'll check it out.
Yeah,
We get
T-Biz.
all our Patreon members spandex.
Correct. Whoa. Or bowling shirts? What about bowling shirts?
Stringers singlets, like because we're going to get massive.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
you know, there's
Like
ones
gold
where
gym.
there's ones where like it
gyms,
looks like
yeah.
like a tiny little string just covers the middle of your
the
nipple.
nips, yeah.
That's
It's
what we should do.
barely wearing a shirt. That's what it is.
But that's got to come after the board shorts that I described.
The board shorts.
Some say all our Patreon members are just jacked. Like I haven't seen them personally.
Yeah,
but I'm sure
actually-
every single one of them is very strong.
Huge.
I can
Huge.
100% guarantee. I'll bet my professional existence. If you sign up for $4.50, you will get jacked.
Guaranteed.
That is guaranteed.
Yeah, the Northern Board.
That's
plan.
a daddy guarantee.
Yeah, I promise you, you will get jacked.
Yeah.
So just $4.50 a month and a juice cleanse and some other things.
juice
But
And just spends 6 to 8 hours of solid workout a week. And you will be jacked.
Small print. Send us your address and you'll find steroids. in the box.
what happens is you send us $4.50, but you're not employed by us. you're actually employed by you. So then you go out and you find other people to sign up for $4.50
Yeah.
and you become their boss.
Nice.
But the trick is
Right.
you can convince them
Right.
that they can be their own boss by then getting them to sign up for
I
$4.50.
might need a diagram. Is it shaped like a pyramid?
Wait, this sounds like multi-level approach.
If
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
if you think about a square,
Yeah.
but then you take off a corner and then you flip that not square anymore into a northerly facing shape, kind of like I would say maybe the logo of Assassin's Creed.
Holy shit.
And you've got
John.
yourself a not square.
I like this idea. You want to get jacked with me?
Let's get jacked.
Hey, John, let's get jacked.
Well, John's already signed up for $4.50, so he already
I'm
is
already in.
jacked.
I'm already
All
in.
right.
I
But
think
Kang,
we just need to
where's
find-
your commitment? Why are you not sub to your own?
That's why I'm not
Don't
jacked
ask
right
me
now.
any
It's
further
why I'm
questions.
not
Why he's
jacked
not
right now. Done.
One sub away and he's jacked. Then we've got our 10.
Is this our outro? I want to formally say, is this our outro, gentlemen? Is that it? Thank you to all the listeners.
I thought we were just going to go till I have to go to work. So another 2 hours. Right?
William leaves and it's a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah.
But you know what? At number 10, guys, I just really like to thank all of our regular listeners and our guys. Thanks, John. Thanks, John,
right,
and
Danny.
the other 8 very massive, huge,
Yeah.
muscular.
You guys don't know what John
Jacked.
looks like, but if you imagine a space marine, that's what John is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. One of the real Space Marines, like a
Real,
huge
yeah.
one. Yeah, yeah. Not those little neophyte dudes, the big ones.
Correct.
The legit ones.
Yeah.
100%. Not a scout,
Yeah.
a full Space Marine.
It's huge. Like I don't know what's in
The early
John's
description
pants,
of a
but I'm
large
sure it's
black gay
massive.
man was true.
But seriously.
It's like in reality, I'm just a 5'7" pasty white guy. But in my head, I'm a Space Marine.
Why are you trying to break the illusion, John?
But seriously, this all 10 episodes. This is episode 10. It's been a lot of fun. I think this podcasting thing definitely started out as like we would ramble, have fun with our things, and we kind of just want to put into recording.
Yeah, we've really stopped rambling.
We've never stopped rambling. That's the little slogan. Never stop rambling.
I did have 2 separate people messaging me because we're recording on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. And usually Kang's very diligent and lets it out on a Thursday morning. And then I've had 2 people message me like, oh, no, I guess 9 was the magic number before you guys couldn't pull out another
saw
one.
that.
I was like, fuck off.
I saw that sassy comment.
Oh, so one was actual
One
comment.
was a comment in one of the chats. I think it was either the fantasy chat or Northern Boards chat. One of those.
Yeah,
Some guy made a sassy comment. I was like, hang on, mate. Where is the 9th one? Is that it?
But you know what? I've never known myself to be so good at yapping, boys. I'm
Yaps
going in
are-
for my PhD in yapping.
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 Just yapping.
Yapping, boys.
Because I'm not like, I drive the truck and I work with Burger Boy and I work at the boards and I always tell everybody about everything I'm doing because I really want to like cross pollinate. I want you to come down. Like, if this is insanity that you can deal with some more of my insanity. I assume like you've already passed the test because you haven't told me to fuck off yet, verbally to my face. So I assume there's always more. The podcast is the first one where like when I'm dealing with a builder on a job site. And I'm like, you should listen to my podcast. And they're like, what is it about? And I'm like, it's just
Good
listen.
luck,
And
buddy.
if it's bad, just don't tell me.
If
Just
you
like,
find it funny, which is what I said to Kang, I enjoy the podcast because I put it on and I laugh.
ah,
And I
nice.
enjoy it. I put it on and it's a good time.
And now you can put it on and laugh at yourself, John.
True.
2 or 3
I do
times.
have one funny story to leave my podcast minor contribution, which is about laughing. So 2 weeks ago, Monday, I was at my parents' house and we're having dinner. And I cracked a joke, which I made, and I laughed. I laughed so hard, in fact, I couldn't breathe. All right? I then stood up and passed out.
Well, man,
my own joke.
You're really killing your identity of being a massive
Yeah.
swole man.
At my own joke.
You're
Danny, I
built
did.
for podcasting.
It was very funny. And then it followed up with my mum freaking out and me having to do a bunch of medical tests. But that was fine. That's fine. I'm totally fine. I'm just a jackass. And it was funny when I had to explain to the very serious doctor what happened. He's like, oh, what happened? I'm like, I was sitting down. I cracked a really funny joke. I laughed. I stood up and I passed out. And he turned to my wife and said, is that what happened? And she goes, yes. That
Never
is what
lose,
happened.
never lose that sense of humor, John, because that's important. It's,
was.
It's something you can't ever like get again. Is that laughter, right? So
I know I'm pretty lucky that I don't have that problem because I am quite often the only person laughing at my own.
never lose that laughter.
It's
Enjoy
like,
it, right?
I'm glad that that's your issue, massive swole John, and not mine, massive swole Danny.
So after all this, really what we want to say is thank you very much for listening.
I appreciate
All the support. We get a lot of good feedback. It's been a lot of fun. And 10 episodes in, I'm sure there's some crazy statistic of us maybe outlasting other people, but 10 does feel like a milestone. It's like our first milestone.
Well, I actually have excessive amounts of amazing feedback about how good I am. It's
Are they generated by yourself, Danny?
ChatGPT, give me compliments.
Hey Siri, who's the best man in the world? You are, Daddy.
Wait, you actually nailed my Siri voice that I chose.
So
I went
here's
for
to,
Witch of the West 100%.
so here's to episode 50, where we're going to give out the same kind of things again. And then episode 100, where we thank everyone. And you never know. 200, 300. We'll be here. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, maybe William will be back.
The Boardcast.
The Boardcast.
Yeah. As long as we're alive, we'll keep doing this.
Yeah.
So enjoy it and sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah.
We'll love to see you there as well.
As a patron,
Yeah.
I can recommend it.
Yeah. Give us some comments, guys. We want to hear some
Tell
feedback.
them about all the amazing additional stuff we've given you as a Patreon, John.
The enjoyment. The enjoyment and the
And you
satisfaction.
can't buy that.
Also, how
Except
jacked
you
you
can.
Oh, it's yeah, and now I've learned I can become jacked.
Yeah, no, are jacked. You signed up
True.
and instantly became
True.
jacked.
So
Yeah.
we should like everyone has like their groupies, right? Yeah. Like Biebers are believers.
Yeah.
We have to have jacked men as the as the
The jackers.
The jackers. The
Well,
jack-
instead of the jackabites, we're the jackaboards.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The board jackers.
The board jackers.
Board
The
jackers.
jackerboards.
The BJs.
I think we could
The BJs.
we might need to workshop that. But I think it's okay. I think it's got
this
something
is
there.
how the
Danny.
workshop happens, man.
There's something there.
All right. In the comments, tell us what we should name ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the comments, let us know. All right. Thank you very much for tuning to the Boardcast episode 10. It's been an awesome milestone, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Signing out. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Next episode. Bye.